30 by 40 metal building in Carthage, Texas, all galvanized. Let's check it out. Welcome back, Pack. This is Adbil from WolfSteel Buildings, and we got a special project. This is an all galvanized metal building. I don't think we've done an all galvanized metal building. Well, actually we did. We did a small one. It was a lean-to, and it was on our YouTube. I know we've done them before, but it was a single slope. This one is gonna be spectacular. And our gentleman behind the camera, Ed, you ready for this one?
Let's get this one going. This is a beautiful building, galvanized. Man, it's awesome. Love the color for sure.
And what I'm very proud of this project, as soon as I walked it around, is, again, we fabricate our own tubular buildings. I am so proud of what we're doing. There's a reason why we fabricate our own buildings. We want that control, and I'm excited to show you guys all the details on this project, because this is really, really good work. And a lot of cool features. Also insulated overhead doors, a special color combination of a gutters, leaf guards. Why do you want them? And then the inside of the framing, spectacular. Now, please bear with us. It's hot, but our energy is extremely high right now, and we're super pumped. You ready to get this one going?
Let's get this one going. Let's go.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification button, and like Ed said, let's get this going. Alrighty, Pack, before we go into the building, hey, you see us on the road. We got, I believe, like 3 or 4 trucks with the, nah, it's 3. Yet. We only have 3 yet. Trucks with the same logo. If you see us out there, don't forget to scan, get more information on our products. We do red iron buildings, we do tubular buildings. This is a spectacular tubular building. And before we talk about the details of this project, he did Galvalume panels because he's building something here, and it looks here a little bit more of a home, but it could also look like a small little business.
Little office for sure.
Little office space. It's really unique, and he definitely is doing a most like a post frame metal building here. Now, obviously those are the reasons why he chose these colors, and man, it stands out. Now let's talk a little bit about the process for our client. Let's get under the shade, because I know it's a little hot. We're gonna talk about the process. All right, here we're in Carthage, Texas. We're on the east side of Texas, where there's a beautiful landscape. There's a lot of trees, and we're out in Carthage. We needed a permit. For this client, it was like about a 1 to 2 month process for permits, right?
Yes, it was about a month-long process.
A month-long process. So let me tell you how this all works, okay? So if you're looking for a metal building, before you start dreaming, before you start imagining how beautiful, you know, a lean-to and what colors, and before you get to that, I recommend look into the requirements for your metal building. You know, what requirements are there? What setbacks are there? What restrictions are there? Even material is allowed or not allowed on your property, okay? If you do that research, by the time you start, you know, shopping for a metal building, you'll know those specifications. You don't have to do double the work. A lot of times what I see is we go straight into shopping, and then we look at the restrictions, and then it's like, dang, I can't even build that. Or, you know what, they don't even allow metal buildings. Yes, that is true. That does happen. So if you do your research, you reach out to your local city, if you're like in these kind of suburb areas, or maybe your county is in charge of your permits. There's some counties here in Texas that's still the wild, wild west. All you have to do is just fill a piece of paper, pay $50 to $100, and you're good to go. They don't need anything. But then there's a lot of restrictions. This is our process. When you come in, we start doing, we mock up, we give you a quote. If you say, hey, let's proceed forward, before we proceed forward, we have a permitting team. Our permitting team does a preliminary check on that property. And so why do we do that? So we can let you know, hey, we find out right away, can we even do this? Can we don't? And especially if you do concrete with us. Here, our client did their own concrete. They did a pretty decent good job. Before we do the site visit to determine the site prep, we need to know those setbacks. We need to know if where we're trying to do the concrete work is appropriate according to the restrictions. So that's why we also do that preliminary check. Marketing helped me out for this project. What was that preliminary requirements look like? Marketing, post it. So that's just to give you guys an idea how the permitting process works. There were certain restrictions. I know you did some research, Ed. I know some pointers was a lot of like setbacks from the main street.
Yes.
I know there were, I don't know if there was a restriction on the height.
Yeah, there it was. The maximum building height was just 2 stories.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what? I wonder what that meant.
Yeah, I wonder what that meant for.
Yeah. But hey, we didn't do the permitting. Shout out to our whole permitting team. So I know we offer our permitting services. We don't offer permitting services if we don't do the concrete. And the reason is because setting your foundation is extremely important as far as being in the right setbacks. And if we're not doing the concrete, then we have no full control. Okay, so that's the reason why. So for that reason, we don't pull the permit. Another reason is we've struggled with permit departments that just don't want to help us out because there's just too many people involved in that permit process for a project. So for that reason, we don't do that. But if you're getting concrete with us, we do offer permitting services for that. Are you ready for the building, man?
Man, let's go check this one out. This
Damn.
one's nice.
Let's get this going. All right, guys. So we have a 30 wide. Remember, 30 is where we have the peak. Okay, for our tubular metal buildings, the peak is where our width is, and then is 40 long. Okay, this is a 1,200 square feet. 30 by 40 is one of the most popular sizes you can get for a metal building on a tubular size. Why? The price is right, the design is right, and it's a very common for like a workshop garage size. And it's the best, it's the best bang for your buck. And that's just my experience, just doing metal buildings for 10 to 15 years. Probably 15 years now, maybe 18. Honestly, I can't remember anymore.
Lost track of time.
16 foot tall to the eaves. A building this tall needs to be well built on the frame, and I'm excited to show you guys the inside, so stick around because the inside is spectacular. At least I love it. And now for panels, we have 26 gauge panels. The standard panel size that we offer is 29 gauge, just a little bit more thinner. So the smaller the gauge number, the thicker it's gonna be. This is 26 gauge. We offer 29 gauge standard, 26 gauge ag panel, which still has 5 ribs on a span of 3 foot. Okay. Now we also have our base trim.
Same color. Yeah.
Same color as the panel. So for our base trim, we're always going to put the same color as your panel, unless you want something else. And let me explain why. So if you want to get a little bit closer, concrete is not always going to be straight. Okay, sometimes it's going to have some dips. So the base trim will allow for covering, say, any dips, and also, especially for horizontal panels, not a lot for vertical panels, because vertical panels have a manufacturer cut, so it's really nice and straight most of the time, and so therefore you don't really see that. But sometimes with the horizontal panels, the bottom panel doesn't have a factory cut, so we have to do a manual cut. And if you've done sheet metal work, it's hard to get a perfect cut, especially along going over the ribs. Okay, so that's why the base trim actually almost like camouflages that cut, and it still makes the building look really good. So that's why for horizontal panels we require base trim. Now another reason is under here, you can see here, because of the ribs of the panels, little critters will try to come in. So the base trim is another way for critters to not come in, and that's the big advantage of having the base trim. Okay. Another reason is if you do your own concrete and you don't do your notch details, this is another way to basically do the same effect as a notch detail to prevent water from coming in. Okay, so it's like a flashing as well. The trim is all brown, which is unique, and I like it. And check out this door, man. This is the flush panel doors, okay? These are on the higher end doors. They're beautiful. Marketing helped us out with this beautiful building we did. It was a white and black with the flush panels. That was last year, 512 pitch. It was a spectacular. Why these doors are spectacular? It's the R10 insulation in the back, steel backing. If you're gonna get a flush panel, since it has no corrugation, you can see a lot more oil canning if you don't have insulation. These flush panel doors get insulation. That way you don't see oil canning. Here you see a really nice, perfect, like I'm already like hugging this, really nice, perfect flush panel because it's got insulation in the back. It just makes it more sturdier and minimizes any of the oil canning. So if you're gonna do a flush panel, I don't recommend it without insulation already in it. Okay, just recommend it. And the inside we have our weather seal, so they're sealed. Let's talk about something that we're doing here in our tubular. You can see here, like critters are trying to come in, man. And nope, not today. Not today. Not today over here. Okay, so that's really important things that we look out for. This is what we are doing different, that because we do red iron buildings, we understand a lot more. We work with so many different, you know, types of builders and different experiences, and we combine it all, and that's how we revamp industry standards. But here, for our door openings, for tubular buildings, 90% or more, I would even say 99, but I'm just not gonna say that, but over 90% of builders for a tubular will use an L trim. An L trim is just a trim that does this, and it goes all the way around. What's the problem with having an L trim all the way above? The water that's dropping over here, because it's just an L trim, can fall behind here. So fall here. The L trim, because the water can fall behind this trim, because it's not a flashing, any water that falls here can go back in, okay? Here our client did a nice ramp. If you don't do the ramp, that's where I've seen water coming in. That's always been a big problem with tubular buildings having an L trim. What we do is we do a U trim. This U trim is custom made according to the frame. Usually frames can be 2.5 or 2.25. Here we got a double frame. When you in the inside, we're gonna show it to you. It's a double frame, so it's about 5 inches. This is a custom U trim. And then here, this is a J trim. J trim that's flashing any water out on the front, and it's gonna land right here. So the water, all the water is gonna land here. There's no water gonna land here. Luckily, we do like 3 insurance. We do flashing here, we do the notch detail for our concrete, and then we do this. So 3 ways that we're preventing water from even trying to access the building. I hope that makes sense. Another beauty of the U-trim that we're now doing for all our tubular buildings is that usually an L-trim, the only way to bolt it, because it's like this,
I was
right
gonna
here.
ask about that. Yes, how did they bolt these L-trims?
Well, this is not the L-trim, but the other old trim, you would see screws here.
Ah, okay.
And the more screws you put onto a panel, the more that you're gonna see oil canning, okay? But we don't bolt them. This is a U-trim, so it's basically like this, like a C-trim. You put it in here, and then the same frame material or this screw over here also locks it in, and that's it. Again, how we do our things is I won't say the word seamless because we can't go fully seamless when it comes down to their trims. We can't go fully seamless. There's certain lengths restrictions based on transportation, logistics. But for the most part, because we control how we do our metal buildings, most of our trims are all seamless. So what I mean by that is marketing. I'll show you guys a little bit how there's a lot of standard sizes out there which you can mass produce to reduce costs. So like you just have like 10 footers or 10 foot 6 inches, 12 something. There's certain sizes that are just being built and leaving in stock, so that way the builders come and pick up and go. So this is a 14, I believe, by 14 or 12 by 14. You can see here on this trim, we ordered it specifically the length. You won't see any seams. Marketing help us out, show some of the seams of projects that are out there. That's some of the differences. Even our vertical trim, we don't have any seams on the front vertical trim, the whole rake trim in the front. No seams. Look at this trim. No seam, all the way up. and it makes it look super clean, super good. I am so proud of this, man. I am just like, I'm so excited. Now let's talk about the gutters, okay? So these are aluminum gutters. For tubular buildings, we do aluminum gutters. Usually the colors that our clients do get are like brown or like match the trim. Our client got a little creative, a little like, hey, I want it to stand out.
Different, you know?
Doesn't it stand out?
It just stands out like crazy now.
It stands out like crazy, especially out there. So it's something that to really consider. And another thing about like having gutters and downspouts on a tubular metal building is that unfortunately we don't do bigger than a 1 foot overhang. And if you do a 1 foot overhang, we require 26 gauge for our trims, which by the way, if you order 26 gauge with us, we don't just get the panel 26 gauge, we get the trims 26 gauge. So all our trims are also 26 gauge. So just a lot thicker. Again, the thicker your panels, the thicker your gauges, the less oil canning you're gonna see in a metal building. That's why you don't really see oil canning on this building at all. So that's something to just keep in mind, that if you have a thicker panel, thicker gauge, you're gonna see less oil canning. I would love for you guys to check out the 29 gauge versus 26 gauge video. A lot of people loved it. I know we got over 5,000 views and we just posted it like 2-3 weeks ago. While you were doing up there, we saw leaf guards.
Yes, I was able to check out the leaf guards with the drone. So I got some good shots with that.
Good shots of it.
Yeah.
So the reason why you should consider leaf guards is you don't want to be up there cleaning them out, or after like 3, 4, 5 years cleaning them out, or they're plugging your gutters and downspouts. You have a lot of trees, like we're out here in East Texas. There's a lot of trees. Leaf guards definitely help. So we do have double pane windows. We have the 4 double pane windows, again with our flashing for kickouts. On the other side we also have 4, so it's 8 windows, and we're gonna see in the inside. Again, all cocked up, nice, 45-degree cuts, and the kick out. Beautiful. Now I do want to talk about something here, okay? You can see here, there's some chalk line that we didn't clean, which we could have done better, okay? Again, it's construction, it's hard to be perfect, but look at how easy I can clean it. And the reason is we require blue chalk line. Red is what I've seen. Red does not come off, okay? Red is really hard to come off. I say it here to just mention it, no red, please. It's I've gone to buildings 5 years later with red chalk line just on it because it won't come off. Blue, it comes off easier. 1 rain or 2 rains, it'll start coming off, but red definitely is a no.
A no-go.
No-go. Look at that. Just nice and straight lines, 4 windows. Any questions you have, Ed, right now?
So far, man, I'm liking this building.
You liking this building?
It's really, really nice.
Well, of course you like it. Let's talk about this door. Awesome. This is a 36 by 84. So 36 wide, 3 foot, 84, which is 7 feet. This is our steel door, and the inside is insulated. One of the things I love about this, and we've had clients say, hey, like it's hard to open and close, okay? And it does feel a little, but one of the things that I love about it is that the reason why it feels that way is because it's so sealed, okay? Nice. So because it's so sealed,
no air is getting out. No
in and out, yeah. So you can see here, come here, show the details of this frame. Yeah, it's so sealed. That's why it feels a little hard, and with the little time, it starts wearing off a little bit. But I think we finished this project like 2 months ago, something like that. But it's so sealed. And again, this is our steel door. A mobile home door is gonna cost around $200 to $350. Usually, it doesn't come with the solid frame like this, with the solid jamb. And then it usually has an aluminum frame, and it usually has to sit on the tube or on the base rail. This sits directly on concrete, so you don't have to have a tripping hazard, and super solid. So for now, this is something I highly recommend. You are gonna pay 3 times that, but it's worth it. It's way better.
Let's go inside.
Come on in. And this is an insulated door, so this is really, it's gonna be heavy. Until you get your electricity, because I know our client did get an openers with us, be able to click it open and close. With LiftMaster openers, these are heavy, okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay, just one. But they do have a spring that maintains it to help you open it and close it. So you can see here the effort that I put to open the door. Before we talk about this, we didn't do the concrete, they did do the ramp. One of the things I love about the ramp is that, again, you can enter easily. You don't have that notch detail that we do. There's downfalls to it is, again, if there's a lot of wind, it does get dirt under it. It's very hard. You can see here, overhead doors and even roll-up doors have this, which is like a plastic material, like a little bit more rubber.
Rubber seal, yeah. Like
yeah, and it's basically, when compressed, it's supposed to basically seal the bottom, okay? But sometimes your concrete's not level. So when you have a ramp and you can see a little bit of a gap, you know, critters come in, stuff like that. With our notch detail, we found that it works way better to prevent from wind pulling in. Yeah. Awesome. Unfortunately, the notch wasn't done specifically. There were some cutouts that we had to do to make it, but it made it work. Alrighty, Pack. So I just opened the front door. It's hot, okay? So it's 80 degrees outside. It feels hot in here. There's no insulation. But one of the things that I like about having door in the front and in the back is that you can have airflow flowing in and out. And depending on how your wind flows, it can definitely help. So right now, Ed, you're gonna feel like you can feel the air.
I feel the breeze coming in.
Oh. So now it's gonna be a little bit more cooler. We are gonna do the installation. I think that's scheduled for next week.
Yes, spray foam installation.
1 inch spray foam. Check this out right here. Oh, look, we got the foam gap enclosures. You can't really see it because it's on the bottom side right here. But we got the foam gap enclosures all the way up on the roofs, all the way along the lines. And that is, again, to, one, right now critters are not coming in. Two, when we start spray foaming, it won't ooze out, okay? I can't remember the pricing, but like for a project like this, marketing helped me out. How much is it, okay? So it's tedious to install them because they're in 3-foot sections. Sometimes they don't align, so we have to like stop and like align them. So it can be very tedious, okay? So most of the price for the foam gap enclosures is for the work of like just going one by one and putting one on each panel, top and bottom, okay? So just keep that in mind for foam gap enclosures. Alrighty, Ed, man, I know you love this frame, right?
Yes, so tell me a little bit about the spacing when it comes to this frame. How does that work?
Yeah, so for 30 wires and under, our typical spacing is gonna be 5-foot spacings, okay? Now, if you're like in the Houston area, you need higher wind loads. Typically, we reduce the spacings to increase the loads it can handle for winds, or even increase the spacing for our purlins. So up on the roof, we got like 48 inches for our purlins, okay? So the spacings we have here is 5 foot on centers. Now, this is 16 foot tall. Okay, so this is high. So the way I like to explain is, the taller you are, the more stance you want to have, right? If I'm like tall and then you kind of push here, I'm gonna fall, right? But if I open up my stance, that just toughens the building to resist lateral forces. That's why red iron I-beams are really good, because of how wide it can go, okay? But hey, tubular can be done the same. This is 16 foot tall. This is enough to not pass 2 stories. So 16 foot tall, and then here we have our 12 gauge, and then we have like 12 gauge material, and then with the spacer in between. So overall, the space we've created here is about 7 inches. That's how much stance it is. For our 13 and 14, we do double legs. For our 15 and 16, we do this type of ladder. 17 and over, we tend to do a different type of ladder, but it's all ladder after that.
Awesome. Okay,
So
this is ladder style.
Ladder style, man. Again, this is 30, and then we got 2 anchors here, 1 anchor here. They're concrete wedge anchors on every single leg. And then another thing that I would love to show, where's a good, let me show right here. This one's good. On the end walls, we're also doing double, okay? I've seen that one single leg on a 16-foot eave, the building will rock. Like you'll see it shake, and here you're feeling me pressure, and it's not shaking. It's not budging. But it's because it's got more, and it's so tall. Yeah. Double on our walls, ladder on our sides. Okay, that's how we build something of this height. Again, double pane windows. Again, he's insulating the building. If you're gonna be insulating the building, you want double pane windows. Single pane windows run from like $100 to like $200. Double pane windows are running from like $300 to $500. Okay, so a lot of times I see like clients say, hey, well, I got a cheaper window. Well, there's a difference between single pane, double pane, and triple pane windows. Gotcha. Okay, and you can see it from, it even says argon, so it has argon gas. Bingo. Again, with the screen.
So how do the windows play a big factor when it comes to, you know, your building? Like if it was a single pane, double pane, we're keeping that energy efficient with like the HVAC system and all that stuff. Yeah,
so if you have a single pane window, you're usually gonna have a lot of air leakage, okay? With double pane windows, you got double pane, argon gas in the middle, trap. That's what creates insulation. Triple pane is like you got 3 panes and then argon gas trapped in 2 areas. You know what I mean? So double pane windows are insulated, so therefore you're not gonna have air leakage. There's the frame, it's sealed, so that way you don't have thermal transfer in and out. But what's the point of insulating your building and you're not gonna insulate your windows and your accessories? You're just gonna have leakage, might as well don't insulate. But I mean, sometimes if it's just a workshop, you can definitely not have insulated accessories. It's fine, just know that your HVAC system is gonna work a little harder. And if you're just only here for a workshop, just turn it on for a little while and in and out, hey, you know, you can definitely get away with it, make your HVAC work a little bit and save some money on your accessories. Awesome. So again, it just depends, there's ways. So a lot of things that's one of the things that we do from our sales perspective. It's like, we look at the budget and we look at what you're wanting to do for it and we say, okay, well here you can save, here we just don't recommend it. And here, you know what? Here are some alternatives to find a way to, you know, and make that whole project fit in budget. Because again, we do grading, we do concrete, we do building, we do overhead doors, windows. And so I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, it answered perfectly fine. And then one thing I did want to ask you was about the concrete. Since we didn't do the concrete, they had to do a concrete inspection, right? How was that process as well?
Yes, so concrete foundation inspection, if you see that on your quote, what that means is, and I know we don't have a lot of battery, but we did a carport over there. Here, I'm not sure if we made any modifications, but we come after you pour your concrete and measure your foundation, okay? These are pre-engineered metal buildings. These are fabricated in our shop in Weatherford, Texas. Check out our video where I walk in through our shop, super proud of it. Look at the B-rolls of this project, all the welds we do, how everything is fit together. It's just really good. And I want to give a shout out to our main guy at our shop, Chava, and our crew foreman for this project with Alonso and Adolfo. You guys did an amazing job, super proud of it. We fabricate that over there. We just come and put it together here, okay? So we measure the foundation, make sure it's square. What are the measurements? If there's an adjustment, we modify our frame, or before we start, you know, fabricating the frames, we make that adjustment so it fits and you're not gonna have any water problems. And if we arrive and it doesn't fit, the cost is gonna be way more, because now we gotta redo the trusses to match it, or even do some adjustments to match your foundation. If we don't do it, what happens, and this happens a lot, is, well, I arrive, that's how your foundation is, I'm just gonna build it, and then you got water. If your foundation is bigger than your building, the water that falls on the excess is going to leak inside. It's very common, guys. I'm not even kidding about that. check out Facebook group pages of owners of metal buildings. It's one of the ones that, man, it makes you learn a lot. Check that out. I constantly look and I constantly see the issues that are out there. And honestly, I'm already thinking of creating a metal building sport Texas for Texas people, where everybody can share information. Whether you bought from us or from not, just what is your experience? What are you doing? Do you think we should do that? If we create that Facebook group, will you follow it? All right, so now that that's been lingering in my mind. Any final questions, Ed, before we finalize this video?
No, I mean, I wish I had a little bit more battery to check out that carport though, for sure.
You want to quickly run over there? How much we got?
We got about 3%, but let's get going real quick.
Alrighty, guys, I know this has been a long video, but we got 3 minutes, Ed, let's go. So again, that was a 30 by 40 with 16 foot tall. Now over here, we have a carport. And again, I think he already had his builder doing for this home office type of building. So here for his metal building, this is just a carport. He just wanted a carport. He wanted additional framing because he's gonna do like mesh. And this is gonna be like, if I'm not mistaken, something to help stray cats or help animals or pets. So I'm sure he's gonna be framing here. That's why he wanted the additional frame.
Yes.
For this one, again, we had to come and measure, and we measured that, hey, like this is actually not the size he originally ordered, and we made the modifications with the foundation inspection. We made the modification, I think it's like 8 inches, and then like 6 inches, something like that. So we made the modifications before we fabricated the metal building.
Awesome.
So
yeah.
We also do carports. We mostly do metal buildings, but in this case, he did buy both. Again, he has the gutters and the downspouts. Man, it's really nice. I love the framing we have. Yes. One of the beauties I love about the framing is it's galvanized. It comes with a 20-year rust warranty on its frame. Okay, so that's why you see galvanized frames on a lot of street signs, because they last. They resist rust and corrosion, and it's basically steel, but it was just dipped into like a zinc coating, and all of a sudden it's galvanized and it will last for a long time. Well, Pac, we got like 1 more minute on our battery. I want to thank you guys for watching. I know you enjoyed this building because I loved it, and I'm super proud of it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because we got a lot of cool projects that are coming up. Ed?
Man, this was a fun building to watch. For sure.
Guys, we're heading back home. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next one.
Pac, stay up to date with everything we're up to by checking out our social media. You can find us at WolfSteel Buildings for behind the scenes actions. We share our latest projects, updates on what the team is working on, and all the exciting progress happening in real time. Don't miss out on the action and give us a follow.